Hey guys, welcome back. This is my new Nitro buggy and I'm wearing my deal hat. Whenever I get deals on eBay, I'm going to be having to wear my deal hat from now on. This is the REDCAT Shockwave, one of the cheapest ready-to-run Nitro buggies you could possibly get. The reason I'm going to be bringing this to you is not because I like it, not because it's cool, but because I bought it for basically next to nothing. I paid $76 for it, and the reason is it was advertised as for parts or not working. I'm gonna put a link here in the description. You guys can feel free to check it out. We're gonna unbox it together, see what it in fact comes with, and whether it is broken or not. I don't know for a fact whether everything will be included with the kit. It could even have missing parts, but for $75, that is half the price that they go for brand new right now. If it's a small, simple fix, it's something I don't mind doing, and I actually enjoy fixing a lot of these cars. Chances are this was a customer return. This is a low-end, intro-level buggy, and a lot of people buy them, they start them up, they don't know how to adjust their trims, and they just crash them. Chances are it's probably been crashed, or the body's damaged, or it's missing something. Either way, this cutout here seems to indicate that yes, this was probably a customer return. There is no warranty on this, but I'm okay with that. I'm very good with fixing Nitro RCs, so I have really nothing to be worried about. So let's take a look at it. Okay, this is what we got. It looks to be in fairly good condition. I could already tell that it looks like it's not missing anything here on top. The wing is probably in one of these boxes. Looks like the remote is probably here. The body looks to be okay, but probably there's something wrong with it. Let's investigate a little more. I'm going to take it out of here. Okay, here is the buggy. Let me just take out the rest of the contents of this box. Okay, the only thing left in the box is some of this paperwork and shock spacers. Okay, here we got, it looks like the rear wing, so it wasn't even mounted on this. You basically just go like this, put some, body clips in here, and check out what's in this box. There we go. We have a basic 2.4 gigahertz remote control. It's nice that it's even included. There was no description on what is included or what isn't, so that is nice to see. Now keep in mind that if you do go and make a purchase from this seller on eBay, there is no guarantee that you will get one in the same condition that I am getting it in. So buy or bid at your own risk. Okay, so this is the buggy. I could already see a little bit something going wrong here. You guys see right here on top, suspension arms are crooked. So this is an indicator that it was in some kind of front impact. Alright, let's take the body off. The body doesn't have any protective film on top, which means it was definitely run. There definitely was fuel in the motor. Otherwise, the body is in really good condition. I don't see any cracks, and is very usable. And now for a closer examination of the chassis itself. I gotta say, the damage here is not as bad as it looks. So these aluminum parts on these low-end Nitros are really, really cheap. I could probably disassemble all of this and just bend it back with my hands. Let's see if I could do a little bit. So, it's really flexible. All I have to do is disassemble it and kind of straighten it out with some pliers or some other instruments. It should be a piece of cake, not a big deal. The shock shaft is also bent, also not a big deal. Just disassemble the shock itself, remove the shock shaft, use some pliers, and you will bend it back. If you guys ever drove an original T-Max or an E-Max, you will know what bending back your shock shafts must be like. The rest of this damage here is superficial. The front A-arm is totally disconnected, right? So there's a hinge pin right over here. It literally just looks like it snapped out. This must have probably hit a curb or something, and it snapped back this front wheel. Otherwise, none of the parts are actually broken. All I will do is just disassemble this front bumper and connect back this A-arm. Worst case scenario, if my geometry is highly affected, I'll just buy some new A-arms. As of making this video, I was able to find these A-arms front and rear for $10 on eBay. That is not a bad deal. You'll have a couple spares in case you do have to use them for yourself in the future. The rest of this chassis looks really clean. The wheels still look like they are in brand new condition. They do not have foam inserts, but that is to be expected of a sub $200 RC car. Not a big deal. I'm sure it'll still handle fine. I probably will still get in the high 30s out of these. I don't know if you guys watch any of my recent videos. This is another Exceed. This is a Nitro Rally Monster. And it actually has a very similar chassis layout to this. Basically identical wheelbase. And I was able to get 39 miles an hour out of this. You know, this is basically running the same 0.16, 0.18 size engine. The only difference is this has a 2-speed. This is a single-speed transmission. What I do like about the rear suspension, it seems to be dampened pretty well. I mean, that is not, you know, the best, but for a stock suspension, it's not bad. You know, I can't say nothing about the front because it's totally crooked right here, but even then, it is not bad. So why don't I turn the car on, see if the electronics actually work. I already put some batteries in the remote right here. Let's put the remote on. Remote's active. And there we go. So the system works. Here we go, the throttle servo. And the brakes work. So the electronic system works. I could already tell that I'm rolling the car forward with the brakes engaged. Chances are the brakes were just not good enough and the user hit a curb. The steering servo works, of course not as well as it's supposed to be because, you know, the geometry here is about 30 degrees crooked, but it will be an easy fix, not something I'm really worried about. What's important is there's no fuel in the gas tank. So the gas tank has been drained and it looks like this car was stored appropriately. Let me remove this air filter here and take a look into the carb venturi. It's really clean in there. I don't see any dirt, which is a good sign that the engine will have good compression and we shouldn't have any power loss or starting issues. Let me actually check the pull starter right now to make sure that it does recoil back. Okay, engine has very good compression. Nothing wrong with the one-way bearing, and the pull start cord recoils as you would expect it to do. I don't know much to say about these servos. They say Hexfly. They're probably standard servos, but it really doesn't matter to me. This is a very light RC car, so you should have no issues with that. On the bottom of the chassis, you do have a small sign of use, but you know, nothing is totally destroyed. The geometry of the chassis in the front, even after impact, is still correct. This little indentation here is supposed to be here. This is normal. I've even bent back. I remember my old HPI, I've had to bend back the aluminum chassis. It can be done. It's not a big deal if you do crash and you do have to bend it back. You just basically have to take everything apart and bend it back yourself. As I was talking, kind of the dog bone fell out. Not a big deal, obviously, because the geometry is affected. But what I will do is make full repairs on this. If you guys want to see those videos, please put it in the comments below. All you need to do is maybe spend a couple of bucks and a little bit of your time on fixing this. I personally like fixing a lot of these cars. I get more joy out of that than a lot of that driving. There it is, guys. Put down in the comments below if you've ever considered buying one of these for parts, vehicles on eBay. It's not that bad of a deal if you have a good idea of how to fix these. I have a lot of years of experience and I could tell you this is extremely superficial. The only thing you don't want to have is missing parts, and you don't want to have anything wrong with the engine or the pull starter. That can get a little bit pricey and expensive. There it is, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please put in the comments below whether you want to see a follow-up video of me fixing this and doing a couple of top speed runs. Till next time, thanks.